Many of the victims of Jeffrey Epstein say that Ghislaine Maxwell was even worse. They blame her more. They feel traumatized by her more. Why? Because she was the one who went out there to shopping malls and cinema halls and recruited these young girls with promises of furtherment, of betterment in their future, of introducing them to people who will make a difference, to transform their lives and help them reach their dreams. She enticed them, she lured them in. But beyond that, she also befriended them. She went out of her way to make them feel safe, make them feel connected to, like there was a genuine benevolent friend out there for them. And then, when the time came, she fed them to Jeffrey Epstein. Not only did she do that, but she then gaslighted them and told them that this was the right thing that was happening to them, that this is what they needed to do in order to succeed. Many victims talked about her persuasion, about how she tried to talk them into coming back and realizing that this is their path to financial freedom, to success and fortune in their lives. And she even then started to recruit them as recruiters, to pay them to try and get other people in as well. None of this Jeffrey Epstein could have done himself in any way. She created a whole pyramid of people recruiting other people who then recruited other people. And she created incentive structures for the various people in that pyramid. It's said that over 1,000 girls, children, were brought in to this ring of abuse this way. Because not only was it abuse conducted by Jeffrey Epstein, but in all of their testimony, it was abuse conducted by many other people. So as well as bringing them in to be abused by Jeffrey Epstein, she also passed them around to different people as well. And let's not forget that there is clear testimony from victims that she herself was an abuser too. She also abused these children herself as well.
The fact that she was a pedophile herself. She touched Virginia. She took her underwear off. She brought her there from Mar-a-Lago to Epstein's house. She touched Annie Farmer, who I interviewed on this show in the last podcast, at 16 years old. She was the one who fondled her before Epstein jumped into the bed. Ghislain Maxwell was a predator too, not just someone who groomed these women and found them for Jeffrey, but someone who engaged in the sexual acts as well with underage girls.
Now, what makes somebody so perverse, so monstrous in this way, in their treatment of innocent children? Well, we know that when she was young, when she was a child, she had real difficulties in terms of her mother being absent for large periods of her life. Apparently at the age of 3, she went to her mother and said, "I exist." There were rich and powerful people passing through their household all the time because her father was a famous newspaper magnate, a media magnate, a bit like Rupert Murdoch of his day. And in addition to that, he was also an MP, a member of Parliament. And so there are rich and famous people passing through their lives, through their household all the time. And the children were instructed to attend to those people, to be attentive to them and attend to them. Now, who knows what happened in their household? Who knows what kind of abuse could have gone on? But it's somewhat analogous to what happened later with Epstein, with rich and powerful people passing through their household and her and others needing to be attentive to them. There's also a very clear testimony that her father was a brute. He was in every sense a monster, and people use the analogy of sort of Logan Roy in Succession. He was a deeply unpleasant character, especially and particularly to his children. And who knows if there was abuse that happened there too. We just don't know and we'll never know. There was also a sort of over-familiar relationship between Maxwell and her father. There's testimony of somebody who was in her father's office once, and there was a call, and the secretary said, the PA said, "It's your daughter, Ghislaine, on the phone." And he just went meow to her, and she then responded meow, and he was meow, meow, and they were meowing to each other for a whole few minutes on the phone. Slightly odd. We don't know what was behind that relationship and that closeness. We'll never know. But what we do know is that he was a pretty awful person to be around the whole time. Now, none of this, of course, is to excuse in any way anything that she did. But we do know that up to 2/3 of people who become sexual abusers have themselves been abused as children. As I say, however, none of that is any justification for conducting and committing abuse in the end. I'm sure there will be people on this channel who rightly and understandably comment that they have been victims of abuse, but they never turned out this way. Of course, Everybody makes their own choices in the end as an adult, and everybody knows that basic right from wrong. And you just know when you're doing something in that way to a child, it cannot be right. And so what is for certain is that this person who did this on an industrial scale, who created an entire industry out of it, was beyond just another associate of Jeffrey Epstein, was beyond just another abuser. She was a procurer. She was somebody who went out of her way to devastate lives. And as I've said in previous videos, this abuse absolutely devastates entire lives. They are stuck with the feelings of that, the feelings of shame that come with that they experience within them. Shame that really belongs to the abuser, to the perpetrator, but unfortunately the victim takes on those feelings themselves. Those feelings then plague them for the rest of their lives, leave them to self-harm, often deep and severe mental health problems, sometimes suicide too. And we've seen that even amongst the victims of Jeffrey Epstein's, amongst many of them. And I see that in my day job all the time. And she is someone who's created that in person after person after person, destroyed life after life after life. And so in no way is this somebody deserving of sympathy, and in no way is this somebody with whom any authorities should be collaborating and contemplating for even a minute reducing her sentence, commuting the sentence, or pardoning her in any way. It's clear, and you will hear this from every single victim of hers, that she is not a person. Unlike what some of the right-wing media outlets are suggesting right now, she is not a person who is in any way deserving of leniency, given the sheer horrors of the crimes that she has committed. I hope you like my video. We have a wonderful community of folks here who are subscribers to this channel, so I hope you consider subscribing to the channel too. We're here to support each other in this time of global trauma, and people are passing comments to each other, sharing their experiences, and affirming and supporting one another through the comments section of this channel. So I'm really proud of and inspired by the community that we're creating, and I hope you can join us on that basis. Also, I have a mailing list. The link is in the description of the video and the channel. If you can join that, then we can stay in touch by email on an ongoing basis, because let's face it, all these channels are basically owned by a small number of oligarchs, and at any point they could decide that they want to shut a channel like mine down. And if that's the case, then, well, we'll lose touch. So if you can subscribe to my newsletter, then we can stay in touch, and you can stay in touch with my content on an ongoing basis. Finally, I also have the ability to become a member of the channel. It'd be great if you can join us to be a member of the channel. You get regular free ebooks on an ongoing basis. Every month I produce a new ebook, me and my team, that help us understand the psychology of the people in the world around us, but most importantly, help us understand our own psychology too, to help us to navigate this difficult and traumatic period we're going through right now. And in addition, whether you'd become a member of the channel or not, you're also welcome to visit that little bookstore and buy any of the books anytime. And it's called russellsbooks.com. That's at russellsbooks.com. And yeah, you can go to that website and buy and download any of the books anytime. But as I say, if you become a member of the channel, you'll get that for free as well. I really hope that we can stay connected. As a psychiatrist and somebody who is also fascinated by politics, I love to make these videos. I hope to continue to do so. I hope to stay connected and continue this ongoing conversation with the audience, so that ultimately we can create a better tomorrow together. Thank you.